Now, you've heard me say it. When you rent something, when you rent a place to live, you're paying 100%. And people ask me, Wayne, how in the world am I paying 100% interest on something that I rent? I haven't financed anything. I'm not paying any money for financing. Oh, but you are. You see, anytime you're paying on something, monthly payments that you're contractually obligated to pay, in this case, a lease for say 6 months or a year, you're paying for housing. You're paying for a place to live, but you get nothing in return. You are paying 100% interest. Think about that. 100% of the money that you're paying on a monthly basis for your shelter goes towards nothing but the landlord's pocket. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with landlords, and I love rental properties. I love real estate. What is not to like about real estate? I mean, think about that. You buy a piece of property, you put a tenant, a renter in it. They're going to rent for the next couple of years. You may go through 3 or 4, 5 or 7 tenants over the period of 15, 20, 30 years, and someone else has paid the balance of that property, of which now is worth 10 to 15 times what you originally bought it for, and you didn't have to pay the bank back. The tenant did. Now, don't get me wrong, buying a house can be a long-term commitment. It can be stressful. There's maintenance, there's upkeep. You got to have a good credit score. You got to have money down. But what if there were a way that would solve all those issues and you actually could buy a house? And not just buy a house, but buy a house with very little money down, very little money out of your pocket. And what if that house that you bought with very little money out of your pocket came with a 1-year home warranty? A warranty that would cover everything on the property. So you would own a piece of property, you would own a home, condo, whatever you choose, and if anything were to break, it'd be just like renting a house. Call the landlord, they fix it. That simple. Now, you're probably thinking, that's exactly what I'd do, Wayne. I'd buy a house. Well, you and thousands of other people literally on a daily basis right here in the United States of America, they're taking advantage of these programs that are available right here to people just like yourself. You just got to qualify. Now, get this, once you qualify, by the way, that's Lake Pontchartrain. If y'all have never seen Lake Pontchartrain, and there's like 24-mile bridge, if you can see that, little history lesson, one of the longest bridges in the world that goes over to New Orleans. So anyway, once you qualify, you can purchase a house. You only need 3.5% to put down on the property. We, my group of agents all around the country, get the seller to pay your closing cost. Not only do we get them to pay your closing cost, we get them to buy you a 1-year home warranty that covers the house for 1 full year. Now, don't get me wrong, there are 2 major factors that will prevent you from getting a home. 2 major factors. Number 1 is credit. Now, your credit is your credibility. You need a credit score of a 620 or higher, but if you don't have a credit score of 620 or higher, don't let that discourage you. I have mortgage lenders, and there's mortgage lenders all around the country that actually will coach you and work with you and show you how to get your credit score up. They'll give you guidance of exactly what you need to do to get your credit score to a 620 so you can purchase a house. And the cost for this, it's absolutely nothing. That's right, it's free. Mortgage lenders don't charge you anything to do that because they're hoping that you'll be loyal to them since they coach you and work with you for free, that when it comes time to getting a loan, you will actually use them to get a mortgage, a home loan, if you will, to purchase your next property. Now, look, I forgot to ask. They're on me all the time. They say, Wayne, ask people to subscribe because you're putting in a lot of great videos. So if you like this video and like other videos so you never miss a video that we put out there, give us a thumbs up, and most importantly, smash that subscribe button. Now, getting with a good lender, there's more benefit to it than that, than just having somebody in your corner and coaching you. They can also do what they call a rapid rescore. Now, when they do a rapid rescore, they're basically going to take and run it through the system, and literally within a day or 2 they can show you how your credit score literally just jumped by 50, 60 points in many cases. Now look, the purpose of these videos is not to talk anyone to buying a house. Home ownership isn't for everybody. If you don't want to buy a house, don't buy a house. But I can tell you that for me personally, buying a house was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Now, the second thing that prevents more people from buying a house, and remember I told you there was 2. The first was credit. The second one that prevents more people from buying a house is cash, the down payment. Now, you're probably thinking, yeah, Wayne, that's exactly right because everything has gone up. Everything is more expensive. You're telling me I can purchase a house. I only need 3.5% to put down on the property. But how in the world can you save 3.5% when everything is so expensive? If you're telling me I can buy a house for basically 3.5% down, which is $7,000 on a $200,000 house, and yes, there are $200,000 homes out there. I promise you, you name the city, I will find you one. That is not a problem. But yet you're likely saying, Wayne, I can barely get by now. How in the world am I going to save $7,000 to buy this $200,000 house? You're telling me you can find me in the area that I want to live. Well, here's the reality. There's a program out there where you don't need any money out of pocket. You heard me right. You don't need any cash for your down payment. None. Now, I hope I just made your day, because that's the straight up facts. The program that I'm talking about is called USDA. It's a rural development loan, and it's by the United States government. It's a 100% loan. And yes, of course, we have lenders all across the country that are doing these types of loans. It's very much similar to FHA, which is the Federal Housing Administration. Although this is called USDA, and it's rural development loans that are 100% of the purchase price of the property. Now, 100% means 100%. And of course, you need closing costs to be paid, and we have agents all around the country, and they do just that for you. We get the seller to pay all of your closing costs, plus pay for you a 1-year home warranty. You're buying a house for no money out of pocket. So answer me this question: would you buy a house this way? Would you buy a house? What is preventing you from buying a house? There's not a whole lot of excuses. It's usually credit or it's cash. You don't need cash. You can buy a house for no money out of pocket. If your credit's below 620, contact us. Go to contactwayne.com, get with one of our local lenders. They'll coach you for free and get your credit score to a 620, so then you can then buy a house for no money out of pocket. But look, my concern is they don't want you to buy a house. They don't want you to own. Have you seen all of the apartment complexes that are popping up everywhere? I don't know about you, but they're all over the metro New Orleans area. How are they coming along in your neighborhood, in your area where you live? Let me know. I'm curious. Are you seeing apartment complexes pop up everywhere? Leave me a comment. Let me know. So why would they not want you to know this information? You remember back when we had stimulus checks and everybody was getting a stimulus check? Well, that was exciting. This is no different, and they need to be letting people know. I can't figure out for the life of me why I'm only one of a few people that are telling consumers, people just like you, that these loans exist. You can get a 100% loan. Of course, you have to qualify. You got to have a job. You got to have income. Your debt to income ratio can't be crazy out of whack. But at the end of the day, you're able to buy a house for 100%. If you can pay rent, you can buy a house. It's a no-brainer. Now, there is an income limit. You can't make too much money. But typically, if you make less than $110,000 in your household of 4 people, per se, then if you make around $110,000 or less, you qualify for these programs. But listen, it's going to vary based on your city and based on the county. To make it simple for you, I'm going to put a link below so you can simply click on that. And with that link, it will show you exactly the financial requirements and the maximum amount of income that you can make in order to purchase these types of homes. Now, if you recall, I said USDA, rural development, meaning that these houses that you purchase, they have to be in somewhat of a rural area, as they call it. But in all actuality, they're not in a rural area. They're in suburban areas. Like where I'm standing right here is literally not even a mile from Lake Pontchartrain. And all of this area qualifies for these types of loans. But yet I can walk that direction and be at a Starbucks in literally 5 minutes, and that direction and be at a Starbucks in 10 minutes. It's the suburban areas. So if you want to live in the suburbs where most people live anyway, you can buy a house this way. Or if you just want to go way out into the country, you can do that too. So look, the most common asked questions people are asking about these types of loans are, Wayne, what is the interest rate? Is it a higher rate? No, it's the same as the prevailing current interest rate. Right now it's about 6.75%. Another question people ask is, Wayne, do I have to pay any of this money back after I purchase this type of property? Do they want money back? The answer is no, absolutely not. You don't have to pay any of this money back. Now look, the goal in this is to buy a house, and buying a house can be a little bit of a stretch, but I can assure you, you will not regret it. Most people that have bought a home, not too many people say they regret buying the house because you gain equity. And when you sell that property in 3 to 5 to 7, 10 years down the road, you roll that equity into a new house. It's basically made you money. So yes, this is very much affordability. Another question that we get is, can I purchase a double wide mobile home? Yes, you can in fact purchase a double wide mobile home. But listen, you'll get a pretty good deal if you can find one that's already set in place, but it has to be on a permanent foundation, very much like a traditional stick-built property. Now look, owning a home, it's not for everybody. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to buy a property. But if you do have an interest in buying a house, reach out to us. Go to contactwayne.com. Listen, we want you to buy a house. We want you to be educated. I say we a lot because I have agents all around the country. So regardless of where you are, if you can hear my voice and you're watching this video, we can help you. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, go to contactwayne.com, or pick up the phone right now and call us, 985-626-1313. That number again is 985-626-1313. Someone will take your call and we will help you through this process.